Hi friends, welcome to Lotus and Light. My name's Jennifer. Let's get to it. I think I'm going to start with a card actually. I believe I'm supposed to talk about problems and what problems really are. That's kind of what's been on my mind here the last few minutes. What problems really are, what we misinterpret about them, what they have the potential to be. Um, I believe is what we are being guided to talk about today. So I just want to start with a card that'll kind of give us a theme. Well, I guess that's the thing, right? But might give us a jumping off point. I'm using the Light in the Darkness Oracle, since problems tend to be shrouded in darkness in terms of our understanding of them. We don't have a very enlightened understanding of quote problems. And problems create a lot of suffering for us in the world, don't they? But the truth is that they don't have to. Um, they they create suffering for us because that's what we believe they're supposed to do. We often believe that problems are punishment. Um, I will say that problems are an outcome of our energetic vibration. So they are karmic in nature, meaning the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So if you are living in a way, uh, or if you have a lot of beliefs that are causing you to deny love to yourself, you will create problems. And the reason is that problems are really um, they're just an external expression, an outward expression of what's going on in here. Okay. And they're a blessing. They're actually a blessing. So I'm going to suggest that you give your problems appreciation and thanks. Give everything appreciation and thanks in this life. And you will be amazed at how much differently, once you start changing your relationship with things, with people, with energy in general, with circumstances, and you're able to find appreciation for the way that they're serving you, because everything you're experiencing is actually serving you. And when you figure that out and can let go of the resentment, then you're able to let the love flow towards it and from it, right? From that experience, from that person, from that whatever it is. And when you change those relationships, um, miracles happen. Your energetic frequency changes, your energetic frequency increases and gets closer to that perfect love, that Christ consciousness. And then what we perceive to be problems um, become, I don't even want to say fewer and further between, although I do think there's truth to that. But we actually came here for the purpose of um, experiencing some contrast, experiencing challenges and things like that. So we will never be rid of challenges or what we could perceive as problems, because that's what we signed up for when we came here. So problems aren't a punishment. They're just a part of our growth process. They're the catalyst. They're the grit, the tension that's created in our life to help us to grow, and they're a part of. Uh, Am I supposed to be pulling a card in here? Because literally nothing's coming out. But I'm going to keep shuffling because I feel like this is the right day. Um, they're a part of I thought something flipped, but it didn't. Um, Problems are a part of the way that spirit communicates with us, the way that God communicates with us, the way that your higher self, the way that divine energy communicates with you, so that their response to our thoughts is through emotion. And if we can sense and tune into that emotion and recognize it and follow its guidance, we can avoid a lot of problems because we're here to learn. We're here to have these experiences, these expansion experiences. But if we can learn them quickly through those oh, here we finally got something. If we can learn them, it looks like we got two. Okay. Um, but let me finish this thought. So if we can learn quickly, uh, whatever it is that that experience is meant to teach us, or however it is that that experience is meant to expand our mind, and expand our knowing and our understanding, if we pick up on that right away, it's done. It's when we don't pick up on that through just an emotion that then it will keep kind of coming back and circling back and circling back. And then we'll try it this way. We'll give them this experience and this experience. And then eventually that could turn into some sour relationships. That could turn into some circumstances in your life that you don't prefer. That could turn into some um, physical disease. So let me give you an example. If you're struggling with forgiveness in your life, One manifestation of forgiveness. Now, this would be an extreme end. This would be after the little taps on the shoulders. This would be after maybe some negative emotions that, again, the negative emotion would be telling you that you're believing something that isn't aligned with your soul, that your soul knows isn't true. And unforgiveness or harboring resentment, your soul will never do, can never do, because there's one law that governs all of existence, and it's love. All other laws are expressions of love. Even the law of gravity, the law of attraction, all of those laws are just expressions of the singular law of love. And that law cannot be broken and will not be broken. And for that reason, when you try to express resentment towards someone or something, it will feel negative to you because your thought is resentment and your soul's response is, that ain't it. And that's why it feels negative. Okay. And so if we don't listen to that and we continue to harbor the resentment, or the unforgiveness, then that will turn into something more and something more and something more, because it's spirit's way of nudging you and saying, nope, nope, come on, I'm trying to redirect you. I'm trying to redirect you. And eventually that will manifest in your body. And that would manifest, unforgiveness would manifest as cancer. Because all unforgiveness, you may be thinking, well, I know someone that had cancer, or I had cancer, and I wasn't harboring ill will towards anyone. But I will say this: unforgiveness doesn't start externally. Unforgiveness starts right here. So the first point of unforgiveness that must exist in order for you to not forgive someone else is that you're not forgiving yourself. So zoom out. Don't focus on any of this when you're working on unforgiveness. Focus on, what is it I'm not forgiving for myself? Because if you're feeling something negative, what that means is that you're creating resistance to love. You're creating resistance to the natural law of things. Love is coming towards you and you're resisting it. And if you're resisting it through some sense of unforgiveness, that needs to be remedied. And if not, what happens is cancer is literally a cannibalistic disease. It's your body consuming itself instead of nourishing itself. It's your body devouring itself because there's unforgiveness in there. It's not worthy, right? It's just mimicking what you're feeling about yourself. So we think that the solution to this problem, right, is some external, let me eat all the right foods, let me do all the right exercises, try all these healing techniques, do these medicines. And many of those things might work, many of those things might help. Even if it works and remedies you of the cancer, if you haven't gotten to the source of the cancer, it will come back, and it may be in the same way, maybe in another way. In fact, the cancer itself is a reemergence of something that before wasn't cancer, because again, spirit gives it to you more gently. It comes first in the form of a negative feeling, then it might come in the form of a soured relationship, then it might come in the form of some circumstances that you don't prefer, then it might so it builds up to the big things, like the big C, right? Okay, so let's take a look here. We've got starting with number 6, focus on the also. Okay, this is interesting because we're talking about what problems really are in your life, and they're really just that divine feedback. Okay, the negative emotion, and then subsequently, if we ignore those emotions, the problems that emerge in our life are just that divine feedback. It is spirit, it's God's response to your thoughts and your beliefs. And so if we focus on the also, and I've not had this card before, so I don't know that I'm going to read this one, but I'll just tell you what I'm getting from it. What I'm getting from this is that you have certain beliefs about these circumstances, these problems, right? You might think you're being punished. You might think, I haven't been eating good enough. I'm going back to the whole cancer idea. I wasn't eating good enough. I wasn't exercising and taking care of my body, or I haven't been a good person, and so now I'm being punished, or whatever narratives you might be telling yourself that you think are responsible for the problem. And whatever narratives you're telling yourself that keep you holding the problem in judgment, meaning the fact that we're even calling it a problem puts a negative connotation on it, right? So there's an assumption that it is bad. But if you can hold space for the idea that maybe this problem isn't bad, but that it also could be good, or at minimum could be neutral, like hold space for that also, right? Give you might Your immediate reaction might be, no, no way, that can't be. It can't be good that I have this disease, or it can't be good that my friend has this disease, or my like, and that. But what I'm saying is, hold space for that, and just ask God, or whatever your faith system is. If that's praying to God, if that's meditating, going within. I mean, at the end of the day, all of our prayers need to be aimed within. But however that unfolds for you, um, ask and then pause. and ask to be shown if there can be any truth to this also. Can it also be good? Can it also be for my benefit? Can it also be positive or even neutral? Um, and just wait and see if you get an answer and be tuned in. And that can be difficult. The tuning in is the hard part, right? The second card we get is the hurt you hide. This feels very appropriate. The hurt you hide is exactly what causes all of our problems because we are so indoctrinated into the world. We have conformed totally. Most of us have bought in hook, line, and sinker to the world's way of thinking, conforming to the world and thinking that all of our problems are out there. We need to fix these people. We need to fix these problems. We need to stop this situation. We need to stop this pollution. We need to stop this abuse. We need to, and yes, there are things happening out there that are harmful, that are not good for us in the sense that they are not bringing us back to our true state of wholeness and perfect love. That it is what we are, right? At the very core of who we are. So there are things out there that are harmful to us, but we think that these problems are solved externally when it's all comes back to here. All of it, all the time, without exception. So the hurt you hide contributes to the hurt you see reflected in the world. And when we decide not to conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind, and we stop looking out there and we start looking in here, everything changes. Everything starts to change. And when we do that collectively as a collective, we can really shift momentum in this world. But at minimum, you can shift momentum in your life by turning the attention and focus inward. Now I'm going to come back to this one now because this is saying focus on the also. Okay. So turn your focus away from out there and I'm not saying ignore, but also turn it inward. And it's not that we have to ignore what's out there. We just have to understand that the solutions for the problems out there actually are here. And when you solve these problems, you solve those problems by default. It's a ripple effect. But again, I'm going to come back to this idea that our problems are not bad. They're not inherently bad or negative. They are the guidance system. Our problems are the guidance system. We've been so taught to ignore all the feelings or push down all the feelings. And by doing so, we've tuned out the guidance system. And so the guidance system now has to get louder and louder to compete with the noise of the world around us. So the sooner we can learn to spend, sometimes it doesn't even have to be a significant amount of time, some time in our day, a few minutes of our day, if we can learn how to spend a few minutes of our day going into the quiet spaces, the quiet places, we will learn how to tune back in and hear your soul speaking to you before it has to get to cataclysmic events in our life or what feel like cataclysmic events in our life. But no matter how big or small the event, we need to be thankful for it because all of it is redirecting us back to love. And sometimes the problem is that our definition of love is out of whack. So we might be doing things or making choices that we think we're making in love that perhaps aren't. Or I mean, I would say if we're making a choice out of love, then it's in love, right? I'm not challenging that. But if it's rooted in a belief system that isn't in alignment with divine truth, then it's just a distorted way of loving someone that could actually be doing more harm than good, if that makes sense. And let me put context to that actually. So let's say you're choosing not to follow your passion in life. And so you feel like you're suffering, you feel like you're in pain because your life isn't unfolding. You're not experiencing what's truly going to bring you joy in life because you've made a sacrifice for someone else out of love. Let's say you're a parent and you really want to, I don't know, start this business, or you really want to go on this fabulous vacation, or you really want to do this thing that from a financial perspective would mean I can't send my kid to this awesome summer camp, or I can't send my kid to the college that they want to go to. So I'm going to sacrifice this for that because I love them. I mean, as beautiful as that is, it's rooted in a belief system that one says that we need to sacrifice love for ourselves, for others, which love your neighbor as yourself. If you can't find the love for yourself to put yourself first, then you're diminishing the love that you're offering to others. It's less effective love. It's love, it's sacrifices that often come with resentment, which isn't, it's love in the dark, right? It's not a full enlightened love. But second, it also means that there's a belief system there that says that because my bank account says I can only have, I can send them to camp or send them to college or go do this thing, but I can't do both. That is also rooted in a belief that would not be in alignment with what your soul knows to be true. It's what you see now as possible, but the possibilities are unlimited when we understand the power that we have within and the power that we have when we're tapped into God and the divine. Um, and our so I just drew a card here from the Light Seers Tarot, and what we get is the Eight of Cups. And that's exactly what we're talking about. When you start to uncover the hurt that you hide and not be afraid of the feelings and allow yourself to feel and work through and process those emotions, we begin to see healing of ourselves. We begin to see healing of the world around us. And there's, you see the sunrise. It's like there's something so fulfilling in that. It's going to be so wonderful if you can take the step, if you can take that little bit of step out of your comfort zone. And that whatever that step is going to be different for everyone, depending on where you are in your beliefs. But just feeling the courage to take that step will lead to endless possibilities of emotional fulfillment. And that's what this is. It's like she's leaving behind. She's got this, right? She's got this good thing, but she's even willing to leave that behind because she knows there's a promise of something even better if she moves in that direction, that toward the light. And so that is my hope, is that we continue to move in that direction. And with that, let me actually, which one do I read now? So I think I'm going to read The Hurt You Hide. Let's just see what it says. Number 28, which breaks down up to a 10. So a 10 is the end of the end of a cycle or beginning of a new cycle. 10 breaks down to a 1, right? So it's the end of a cycle, beginning of a new cycle. It says, never be scared to reveal your hurt and pain. Honor it and work through it in your own time. Being honest about the ups and downs. Sharing your pain will let the light in and help to heal your heart. Whatever's hurting you right now, the loss of a loved one, a relationship, a period of life now over, a career you loved, an idea that didn't pan out, be patient with yourself. You don't have to open up to a new life, new love, or new dream on anyone else's schedule. Allow yourself to ache and burn, to be breathless with the pain. I love that. There's not a rush here to work through our hurts. We don't have to suffer. It is not a requirement. But oftentimes, again, we suffer because of our beliefs about what these experiences, negative experiences are. We believe there's some kind of punishment. We believe they're rooted in some kind of limitations or, you know, it's all about our belief systems. And so however long we want to take to work through that, to let those inconsistencies burn away within us. When I say inconsistencies, inconsistent with divine truth, however long we want to take is up to us, but it's not a requirement. And there is the emotional fulfillment on the backside of it when we do the work. And that's it. When we do the work, we get caught up in thinking that our way out of a bad circumstance is to keep resisting the circumstance, to keep fighting, to keep clawing back, to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, to do all the things. It's not the external work that is going to bring that to conclusion. It can, but it will, again, it will resurface until you deal with what's on the inside. The whole point of problems are to point you inward. The whole point of problems is divine guidance, pointing you inward and saying, here's something that's blocking you from receiving love. Okay. Um, there's no shame in showing your grief. Don't lock it away so other people feel comfortable. Honor your needs, whether you'd rather be alone or you crave companionship. No choice is wrong. And don't buy into anyone else's idea of what your behavior should be. Perhaps a temporary withdrawal from life, work, or love is what's necessary. Or maybe getting right back out there again will help you most. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong way to express pain or grief. Resist those who pressure you to move on according to their timetable or push you to do anything you feel uncomfortable about. You don't have to return to your usual life yet, or you may be ready before others deem it appropriate. Listen to your own heart. Healing isn't linear. So allow the bad days and bad moments to be expressed while holding tight to the good ones. Don't feel guilty for finding happiness in the small joys of life amidst your heartbreak, for they can coexist. In fairy tales, tears have power and magic to heal illness and create transformation. And that might be in fairy tales, but that's true. They are therapeutic in the real world too. So allow yourself to cry if you need to and feel yourself being cleansed physically and emotionally. Movement can also help move stuck energy through your body. So walk or dance or run or swim or do some boxing to rebalance and connect with your own body and self. It's no consolation, but it's a blessing to have a love, life, job, or dream that's mourned when it ends. the person, situation, or experience has changed you and will be a part of you forever. Take comfort in remembering what you had, what you built, and what lives on in you even after your loss. Treasure what it gave you and who made it, and know that there's help and support if needed. Some affirmations. I acknowledge my pain and I allow myself to feel it. I'm grateful for the love I was honored to give and receive. I choose my own timetable and begrudge no one their own. I honor my grief and hold on to the beauty of my memories. I appreciate the lessons hurting has taught me. I appreciate the lessons hurting has taught me. That perfectly sums up exactly what we were talking about in terms of the meaning of problems. They are blessings. And when we can start seeing them as such, it changes our relationship to those experiences, which all around brings our life into a place of better joy. Because when you experience that problem, instead of feeling beaten down and stuck, you can say, oh, okay, there's a challenge here. I don't prefer this. This is not the situation I prefer. What is that telling me? What is that showing me? Where am I blocking love from coming into my life to free me from this thing that I don't prefer? And maybe it's the thing that you don't prefer, or maybe it's just what you believe about it. Maybe the thing itself would be a blessing if you would believe something different about it. You never know. The spirit is surprising in that way. So I'll leave it right there. Thank you for joining. I hope this message has been helpful. I hope you find peace in this time. If this message came to you, I assume it's because you're dealing with some problems of your own. So I just send all the light and love out to you, and I hope you find peace